if you didn't know already. And you are Dash D, and we're gonna make some music tonight. Is that cool, y'all? Yeah! Oh my God, here's the tab, like really, it's like a job. Morning floor to the road, like really live. We've been seven times, it's where you are, like a superstar.
What's up, everyone? Twitch.tv/Willwaukee here. I am so excited to be interviewing my guest here today, the musical guest of Gen Con 2 years in a row. Yes. I don't know if that's ever happened before. Nur-D, straight out of the Twin Cities.
Yes.
I have to start this off really quick by telling you I brought you here under false pretenses.
Oh no.
Because I acted all professional to get the interview.
Oh no.
And now I have to admit that I'm a huge fan, and I just need a minute, because, like... Okay, we're there. But genuinely, so I told you we saw you last year online, and I think we're one of many that fell in love with your energy and your lyrics and just about everything. What's that like, having all these people who just, saw you online and responded? Because that's a hard show to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, ever since we've started having to do everything, I have been like wondering, I wonder what music's gonna be like, and doing these live stream shows. It was a real weird transition, and I was like, how are we going to are people gonna connect the same way? And then so being here at the con, I've had at my little booth so many people come up to me like, I saw you last year at the live stream thing. I've been following you since then. That is wild to me. It's just so wild, and because I had never been to Gen Con before that, and I remember when I got asked by the Double Clicks, shout out to the Double Clicks, to be on it, I was like, oh yeah, sure, that's super cool. And I'm watching and I'm looking at all the old videos and old pictures. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So to be physically here is very, very cool.
People just begin to I don't have a cool passphrase or anything like that. I told my lovely friends at Willwaukee. What I do have is a lot of stuff on nurdyrocks.com. I'm a Tennessee coder. Second choice if they ain't out of what you wanted, but I promise you I'll make it come to pull my off my shoulder. Anything you gotta say, I'm on my way.
Inquiring minds want to know, what do you have against catchphrases?
I don't have anything against catchphrases. I just haven't found one yet. And it's one of those things. When I first started rapping, at least the time in which I started rapping, there were a lot of people who had catchphrases. Every time before they sang a song or did a thing, it was like, I'm gonna say the thing. And I remember going I don't have one of those. And it was just a placeholder. It was a funny thing to say in the studio. Yeah. And then it just kind of was like, I was gonna keep saying it.
Wait a second, we might have come on to something here.
I was say that all the time. Why not?
Yes, I love it.
Until I get one, then we'll figure it out.
One of my absolute favorite songs of yours is the epilogue.
Oh yes.
And I want to ask you something. You're a young dude. Yeah. How did you where were you exposed to Charlie Daniels, and how do you decide to?
I remember when I ever heard the first time I heard it. I just remember when I heard it.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the first songs that I heard that was so different than a lot of the song structures that I've been hearing on the radio. It just wasn't like a song that everybody's making, and I remember I just got really engulfed in it, and the story was so interesting, but it just ends, you know what I mean? And Faustian bargain with the devil, and then it's he wins, Johnny wins, and then that's it. And then the song's over.
Happy ending is weird for that.
What world are we in? The devil showed up, and it's a real, tangible dude, and is playing the fiddle for some reason. And it was just so interesting of a premise, and my mind wouldn't let it go. It would just rattle around with it. So eventually I sat down and I was like, okay. So I wrote the epilogue, which was both in my head, a literal next step from the song, but also just a representation of where I was as a musician at that time and how I was feeling in my own transition to doing hip hop and to doing music for everybody. So that one's a really fun one for me.
Hell yeah.
Spoiler alert, when I submitted it to all the streaming services, spelled it wrong. I didn't check it, and it's always going to be spelled wrong.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
is it still?
It's still. Oh no, I can't change it at this point. You're the first people I've thought about that. I mean, some people have told me about it, but this is the first time I'm like saying it to everyone.
Every time I hit recorded, every time I press recorded, I'm like Jordan. Every single time I switch it, I ain't never even been it working. How you feel? So I kind of started this thing that they don't
So the thing that I wanted to ask is, with the world has of course kind of ground to a stop for a little bit.
It's been a while.
But also we had a sort of a big reckoning and an awakening over the last year and a half with a lot of our legacy problems of this country, of racial injustice and inequality. And you respond by dropping not one, but 2 albums. What was it like, because that's a hurtful time, and you turned that into art.
Yeah.
And I want to know what your process was like.
So I'm from the Twin Cities, I'm from Minnesota, and so quite literally in the epicenter of a lot of stuff after the murder of George Floyd.
Of course.
And so I was actually working on the streets for the majority of the time as frontline support. So I have an organization that's called Justice Frontline Aid. That is that's what we do. We go out, we make sure that the protesters are safe, first aid available, water, things like that, diabetic help, like all of those things that would sometimes keep people from doing what they want to do and for fighting for what they believe in. And we were able to help stand in the gap in that way. And so I was spending a lot of time just really in the thick of it, like with no other sort of avenue. And as a musician, your music comes from you.
Of course.
So if you spend a lot of time in that area, it's going to come out. And I'd never really done that before, so specifically, so directly. And then I said, you know what, I have to get this out somehow. Like there's no way I could make this happen and just have it stick inside me forever. So we started working, I started working on things, and it was right after I got arrested on the steps of our state capitol, the Minnesota state capitol. I was like doing first aid and I was getting arrested. I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I'm gonna write it. Like I was still kind of like about it the whole time. And then I was like, oh no, I got to now. Like I don't know what else to do. So that's where it came out of. It was this connection to the movement and its tireless struggle long before I came along to fight for the people that were being oppressed and facing injustice, and currently are still doing that, still fighting right now, even while we're here at Gen Con, which is really, really cool, that we know that no matter where we're at, someone is going to be continuing fighting. I think that's a wonderful thing.
So, sorry, could you give us the name again and how to support that?
Yeah. Justice Frontline Aid is the organization. You could go to justicefrontlineaid.org and you can learn all about us, see how you can help. I know this is the Willwaukee crew. We're in Indianapolis, so I know
Midwest Unite.
Yeah, Midwest Unite. We're out here. So even if you can't fly, drive, walk, run, kayak all the way to Minnesota, you can still donate that way. They have different ways to donate, whether it's a one-time gift or you want to make this a regular part of your finances. There's right on the website. Cool, easy way to do that, and you can learn all about more things. If you're people who know stuff and build and stuff, we need all the help we can get, all the minds. So. Well, you can find me everywhere at Nur-D Rocks. It's N-U-R-D Rocks, like multiple Dwayne Johnsons. Really easy to find that. Or you can go to nurdyrocks.com. You can see me, all my music, you can buy stuff, you can buy merchandise, all that fun stuff right there at Nur-D Rocks, nurdrocks.com. And just search me on Spotify, iTunes, all the places you stream music, and it really helps. Thank you so much.
Yes, do it. You have to get out there and check him out. This is my guest, Nur-D. Thank you so much for being here and being the two-time musical guest of Gen Con.
Yeah.
Everyone be sure to hop back onto twitch.tv/Willwaukee or follow our socials at Willwaukee TV for more. And we will see you in a couple hours for a show. And that's been our interview.
We did it.
Thank you so much.